We might be too young to have a spotted cow, but we are both diehard Packers fans.
I could talk about this for hours.
He was my legend. He was my quarterback one. Taysom Hill, forever in my heart.
We have a kind of a reputation of being the young and diehard fans. How was that, Dr. Pepper Taysom?
Amazing.
Okay, good. Let's keep it under 25 minutes, all right?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 78 of the Underage Packers podcast. We are bringing that energy for week 2. We aren't going to have another week like last week for the Packers. We're going to bring as much energy as we can, and then it's on the Packers to make it an awesome weekend when they face off against the Detroit Lions in their home opener of 2021 on Monday Night Football. Big B, how are you today?
I am so hyped for Monday night. You all know why already.
I think I know why. A certain player is making his return.
Goes Jamaal Williams! The GOAT is back at Lambeau Field. Let's go!
I would advise everybody to not listen to this episode with headphones. Just want to throw that out there for some safety precautions. Big B. Let me see. I need to pull up like a tally mark sheet so you're allowed maybe 15 mentions of Jamaal in this episode. We have a whole segment for Jamaal planned, but there is a football game. There is 52 other players on both teams. I didn't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know. But you're wearing a pretty cool jersey that the story behind this is the most bizarre thing to me. If you follow Big B on Twitter, you might have got a little glimpse of this. But Big B, just tell it what in the world happened. How did you get that Jamaal Williams Lions jersey?
All right. Well, first off, Jamaal did not send me this, so that's one thing. But
to our knowledge.
Yes, to our knowledge. But I went to my mailbox this afternoon, got the mail, and I saw I had a package from Jane. I don't know who Jane is at all, but it was addressed in Big B. So I guess I figured it was from somebody from Twitter.
Yep.
And I opened it, and this was in it. Nice Jamaal Lions jersey. And I thought it was this clown right here who sent me it, or had contacted Jane, or Jane contacted him and had him send it to me and stuff. But we don't know. I don't know who Jane is. He doesn't know either. And it's just a big mystery at this point. And I don't know. And I kind of want to know who Jane is, because this is awesome and I love it so much.
I was literally sitting in 7th hour algebra today, and I was just like, I couldn't focus. I was like, who in the right mind just sends this kid a jersey? Like, there were so many.
And another weird part is that this isn't my actual size. And not many people know my actual size.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
There's a few qualifications here that this person was able to get it to you. They know your address.
Which is scary.
Yeah, kind of creepy. They know your Big B persona.
Yep. They clearly know I like Jamaal. So.
Yeah, they know you like Jamaal Williams.
Yep.
And they're from New Jersey.
Yep.
We know some people from New Jersey. We know Bagler, Perry, Tom Grossi. But to my knowledge, they don't know your address. And
I know Grossi does. Grossi does know my address.
Oh yeah. He did send you something. But
yes.
Why they wouldn't, just reach out to you or just put their name besides Jane, why?
And there was no note in the actual package.
No last name, no note, no context to at all.
Yep.
Some person reportedly named Jane, maybe behind a pseudonym, just sent Big B $100 plus jersey. So if you are out there,
yes,
you are a kind person.
Yep. I love this jersey so much. Even though it's a Lions jersey, and I feel disgusting wearing it, but it's Jamaal, so I will wear it just
You
because.
got to
Jamaal.
rep. Okay,
Yes.
we'll obviously talk about Jamaal Williams a little bit later here.
Let's go! Let's go! Okay.
Okay, now we got some Packers news that we found out today from Matt LaFleur and just over the past few days looking at the injury reports. Zadarius Smith was dealing with the back injury all of training camp. He was active for week 1 last week. He's a very limited role, less than 20 snaps for Zadarius. Most of the outside linebacker snaps outside of Rashawn Gary went to Chauncey Rivers or Jonathan Garvin. This week, Packers made a decision instead of trying to force him out there, a 70% healthy Zadarius Smith. Let's wait and make sure we don't aggravate it either anymore. And let's make sure we can have 100% Zadarius Smith when it matters more. So Zadarius placed on IR with the COVID rules in place, and hopefully going much more into the future, he can be promoted from there after 3 weeks. Next up, another injury, this time on the offensive side of the ball with offensive guard Lucas Patrick. He is currently not participating with a concussion. He played all of the game last week, except on the very last play, he took a hard hit to the head while he fell down and he hit his head pretty hard. So he's currently out with concussion, not participating these past 2 days. So pretty much doubtful that he'll play in this game. Big B, we're both pretty versed with what happens at this offensive guard spot because we've talked about it all of training camp, all of the off season on who might step in that offensive guard. We even thought at some point that Lucas Patrick might not make that starting lineup, might not even make the team. Who do you think slides in for Lucas Patrick if he cannot play this week?
Well, I'm pretty positive it's going to be John Runyon Jr. going to step into his role. I think that he's going to step in nicely. Like I think we said last week, he's going to step in nicely. He stepped in nicely versus the Vikings last year, week 1. And I think it's going to be some valuable reps for John Runyon Jr. if he does get to play versus the Lions.
Yeah, 6th-round draft pick from Michigan, and he's shown how versatile he is. So, yeah, that will be a worse defensive line than the Saints. Yep. Next up, we got another injury here. Darnell Savage. He was injured near was it the end of the second half? Not that it matters.
It was on the Zadarius roughing the passer on that interception. So I don't know what that was. I think it was third quarter sometime.
Yeah, it was the third quarter. Okay, so when he got that interception, he must have either extended his shoulder wrong or whatnot. But anyways, he has a shoulder injury. He has been a limited participant these past 2 days, but from what Matt LaFleur is saying, it does look like the up and coming safety will be available to play Monday night against the Lions. He does have that extra day to get healthy as well, which will come in handy. Moving on to the Lions injury report, both DeAndre Swift and Jamaal Williams have been limited participants. Jamaal with a chest injury, Swift with a groin injury. So I'd assume both of them play, though. And their only veteran wide receiver, Tyrell Williams, is out of practice with concussion. So if the Lions are without Tyrell Williams this week, they're virtually throwing Quintez Cephas out as wide receiver 1.
Wisconsin Badger. Let's go.
And then they re-signed Geronimo Allison to the practice squad last week. So I'd assume he gets promoted. And that would make quite the reunion. I think we did this last week with all the former Packers on the Saints. I think we need to continue doing this every week because it's a lot of fun. And there's probably more. I didn't look too in depth at the Lions roster, and nobody really cares about the defensive tackle that was on the Packers practice squad for 2 days. But here's some notable ones. Obviously, the GOAT, Jamaal Williams.
The GOAT!
Who was signed to the Lions for a 2-year, $7 million deal this offseason. And then the Tim Boyle Laser Show backing up Jared Goff. Unfortunately, Timmy is dealing with an injury right now, so he's on injured reserve. So obviously Jared Goff was getting a little bit worried that Tim Boyle was going to take his job. So, when Dan Campbell wasn't watching, he just like cracked Tim's shoulder a little bit.
Yep.
Then you have Geronimo Allison on the practice squad, like I mentioned, and then you have Dom Capers helping out as an analyst on the Lions defense. Wow.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
I know Aaron doesn't like to attack over the middle with Dom Capers in there. I think that's pretty necessary. All right. So the Lions, they're not good. You don't need me to tell you this. You haven't needed me to tell you this for 40 years. Like the Lions have never been good. But they tried to make some changes this offseason. We'll see how those end up working for them. Their new I'm talking about their head coach and the quarterback, Big B.
Oh, sorry.
Their head coach, they moved on from Matt Patricia, and they are now with Dan Campbell, who actually interviewed for the Packers head coach opening back in 2019. So Dan Campbell, former tight end for the Lions, former player, and he's worked his way up, obviously, now to that offense. He's a quite the character. He's talking about biting off kneecaps. He has a lot of energy.
Yes.
They also traded Matthew Stafford, one of their longtime quarterbacks, to the Los Angeles Rams for a boatload of first-round draft picks, and Jared Goff as well, who is their starting quarterback as of now. But other than that, it's the same team that really had a lot of pathetic performances last year. Yes, they do have their new running back with DeAndre.
Let's go! Jamaal Williams!
Man, if somebody was just looking on their YouTube Discovery page and was like, "Oh, okay, I'll watch this little preview here of this Packers game," and they're just like, "Good God, can this kid shut up about Jamaal Williams?"
Yep, probably.
Yeah, that's your brand, Big B. Just people wanting you to shut up about Jamaal Williams.
I know. People like it, so I have to keep doing it. And I enjoy doing it, so yeah.
All right. Lions offense. They got Jared Goff. They got DeAndre Swift. I'm not even gonna say it. They got TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift are really gonna be their two main guys in the receiving game. DeAndre Swift had a pretty big game receiving here. Let me pull up the box score of Detroit's game against San Fran. 65 yards for DeAndre Swift in receiving last week and 1 touchdown on 8 receptions. So that's pretty good. He was the second in receptions for the Lions. So Jared Goff is really going to have to use his checkdowns. They're going to have to scheme up some stuff to get TJ Hawkinson, Swift, and then whatever else they can draw up with Mahan-Ra, St. Brown, and Khalif Raymond out of the backfield for receivers. Okay, now let's talk about the Packers offense here. We're not going to talk about every week. They have Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, but just some updates from last week, some thoughts here. Big B, you got. No, I'm not going to ask you. The Packers offense last week, Josh Myers held up pretty well against a really tough Saints defensive line. Josiah DeGuara is currently dealing with concussion. He looked dead when he was just laying there last week in Jacksonville. But it was just a concussion. Luckily, it was just a concussion, guys. Don't worry. He might have CT and be messed up for his whole life, but don't worry, guys. It's not that bad. But Big B, what do you think happens here? Because I was pretty surprised with how little they used Josiah this week. But hopefully Matt LaFleur can kind of return to his roots, what worked for him last year, when Josiah was out, they kept using guys at the H-back position. So who do you think steps in for Josiah this week at H-back? I would say Dre Sternberger, but he is suspended until next week.
Yeah, well, they used John Lovett for a little bit last year, and then the guy who's going to step in this year, Dominique Daphne, I think, is going to step into that role. You see him a lot playing H-back last week when DeGuara went down, and he was the man end of the season last year, catching touchdowns from another GOAT, number 12. So, and I'm a big Dominique Daphne fan.
Big
so
Dom Daphne.
I'm excited. Big Dom Daphne fan.
I think that's looking forward to that. He's a really good blocker, big body tight end.
Yes.
For the Lions defense might be even worse than their offense, if we're being honest here. They have some guys, They got Romeo Aquara, pretty good pass rusher. But their starting cornerback, Jeff Okuda, is out for the season, making their cornerbacks pretty thin. Big B, please. Like, we're recording this episode, and right now I'm just like, dude, there's really no reason at all that Aaron Rodgers should not throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. There is no reason at all on paper that Aaron Rodgers should not go absolutely off. But man, last week, they come out there last week, no energy, no feasible game plan. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I'm going to guess that there's going to be more energy since we're actually at Lambeau this time, and the crowd will be in it.
Less, maybe a little bit cooler than 90 degrees,
Yeah, but I think we said this last week, where there's no doubt Aaron Rodgers is going to go throw for 500 yards against the Saints defense.
Yeah.
And then that happened. But yeah, Lions cornerbacks are terrible, and I think their safeties are even worse, if I'm being honest.
Probably right,
Yeah.
I mean, but you look back at the Packers versus Lions past performances, man. The Lions, their teams haven't been too much different over the past 5 years, but the Packers have really struggled against them. Going back to 2017, the Packers lost 4 straight games to the Lions from 27. Oh, well, we sucked then too, but
True.
It was not good. 11-35. I mean, that was obviously the game with Sean Kaiser off 2017, but no. Wait, 35-11 was Brett Hundley. 31-0 was Deshaun Kaiser. But even with Aaron Rodgers back, to open up the season against Detroit in week 2, or last year opening up Lambeau against Detroit last year was quite the blowout, 42-21. But to end the later game in the season at Detroit in December, 31-24. Shoot, man, if they ruled that catch from Kenny Golladay, that toe tap in his favor, man, that might have at least been overtime. I don't know. So they got to stay on their A game. And the thing that I recognized last year, and the Packers did this a lot on offense last year, was really loading on all the points in the first half. And then in the second half, there's, and there was some really close games. And the one time that it actually came to bite them was against Indy. But against Detroit, against Carolina, they really had some poor second half. So hopefully that is not a habit that continues into this year.
Yeah, and it seems like the Lions are like the only team that Green Bay has trouble with every single time we play them. Like, they always play us hard, and it's always like a 3-point game or like a 2-point game. It always ends up being like that. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it.
Yeah, like that should not be happening. I mean, the Bears, the Vikings don't do that, but the Bears did lose in a close 1-2 to Detroit last year. But looking at, like I said, the home opener last year against Detroit is a one outlier, 42-21. The other 3 matches since 2019, first game at Green Bay, 23-22. Mason Crosby had to kick a game winner.
That was a fun game to be at, by the way. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then 2019, you had the second game of 2019. This was, oh God. This was one of my least favorite viewing experiences of all time in 2019 to clinch a playoff spot. Where, I mean, it was the same mindset. Like, oh, it's Detroit. They're no big foe. We don't have to be scared by them. And then Aaron Rodgers sucked. I mean, that was the game, if you recall, where he was trying every single play to hit a deep shot, and it just wasn't there. And then until Aaron Jones got that with like 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, he started a big drive with a big 20-yard screenplay. They really had nothing going on offense. So the Packers only won that game by 3 points. And then December last year at Detroit, 31-24. So big tangent, probably unnecessary, but you get the point. Detroit sucks as a team, should be an easy win on paper, but that has not been the case the past few years. Okay, now we can talk some more about Jamaal Williams here.
The GOAT! Let's go!
Okay, so how about you just take it away? Let's hear your thoughts on Jamaal's first game as a Detroit Lion.
All right, so last week, are we saying?
Yes.
Okay. Jamaal Williams absolutely balled the hell out versus the 49ers. Probably not really to a normal person, but to me, Jamaal Williams balled out, had a total of 100 yards, had a touchdown, first ever touchdown as a Lion. I did not know how to feel during that touchdown. Too many mixed emotions around with that. Going to be a lot more mixed emotions this week when Jamaal scores 4 touchdowns against this Packers defense because, he's the GOAT.
That's going to be like when you have a fantasy, you're playing against a Packer player, which I don't understand. If you have mixed emotions because of fantasy, the door's over there. I'm not even pointing to a door because you can't see it and it doesn't matter. The door's over there.
Mm-hmm.
You can come into my office and leave your G right on my desk. If you have mixed emotions, if you're like Aaron Rodgers scores a touchdown and you're like, oh man, I'm playing against him in fantasy, get out.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. But shoot, what was I just gonna say? I don't know. Blaine Brock, Jamaal Williams is the GOAT. Excited to see him back at Lambeau this week on Monday. It's gonna be weird, but it's also gonna be exciting, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, man. I mean, when he's the focus of the offense, last year against Houston, shoot,
he balled out.
Yeah,
receiving, rushing, don't matter.
Yeah, when Aaron Jones was out a few times throughout the year, dude, he was a real player.
Yeah, like whenever he gets his chance in the starting role, like he has always balled out. Houston, the Jets a couple years ago, Tampa, Jones didn't even have a attempt that game until overtime, but Jamaal had 100 rushing yards that game. Definitely forgetting about another game. But yeah, he's always balled out when he had the opportunity to step into the starting role.
Yeah, so we'll have to, and I think almost DeAndre Swift kind of gives Jamaal more opportunities than being in the same backfield as Aaron Jones does. Not only because Aaron Jones is 10 times better, but just because DeAndre is going to be used so much more in the receiving game. So Jamaal can split back sets. Have some action, some deviation, some motion with DeAndre. He's moving all around over the place, and then you just hand it off to Jamaal for kind of a draw type play. But
let's go.
That will be exciting. I'm sure we'll get plenty of Instagram pictures of Jamaal with Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, all of his buddies back there. So that'll be exciting.
I will be hysterically crying when I will be posting those on my Jamaal Williams fan page. By the way, follow my Jamaal Williams fan page.
Yes. What is it? Let's hear that.
Jamaal Dub 30, and I think there's fan as well. I'm not sure.
Okay, W, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me go on here and see.
Pull it up here.
Okay, Jamaal Dub 30 fan.
Okay, Jamaal W30 fan. No periods or anything?
Nope.
All right, follow Jamaal, Big B's Jamaal Williams fan page.
Yes.
I think that's all we got for you today. We might be doing a live stream, and I promise for the 4 or 5 people that were watching there this past week against the Saints, we will be much more prepared if we end up doing a live stream this week, and we'll be talking about more stuff than pointless predictions. That's all we didn't do score predictions though. So Big B, let's hear a score prediction.
31-28 Green Bay Packers. Jamaal scores all 4 Lions touchdowns. So there you have it.
Man, I'm thinking somewhere in that range. So I'll say I'll give the Packers one more touchdown with 38, and the Lions. I mean, from what they did last week against San Francisco, Jared Goff was able to rally behind a little bit, so the Packers will definitely have to be on their feet for all 4 quarters.
Yes.
But I'll say 38-22. I don't know how they get that 22, but 38-22. That's all we got for you today.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're watching on here. Follow us on the social medias, on Spotify. Give us a good rating on Apple Music. All of that good, fun stuff that we really appreciate here. Final thoughts? Final words?
Jamaal Williams is the freaking GOAT. And go Pack Go.
All right. Sounds good. Go Pack Go, folks.